Okay, it's time to combine our blues, reds and green together to create our RGB file. So we're using RGB combination. The files are here already. So the red, the green, the blue. We want the channel weights to be the same. There's a slight increase to saturation that I'm doing here primarily because I find it just gives a slight better indication of the colors when they come out in this first image. So we'll just run this. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, so we can now get rid of this. And here is our new linear RGB image. So if we auto stretch it, we can see we have color. So we can go ahead and change the geometry so it matches our luminance master. Or not. Okay, let's do that again. That's better. Okay. Now there's color imbalance here. As you can see straight off, there's a bit of a green cast as well, which nobody likes the green. So our next step now is we can close these. This is going to be our image we're going to work with. So let's just change the identifier to RGB. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now, before I do anything else, is I'm just going to save a copy of this here. So we're just going to call it RGB. We're going to save it. Okay. Now I'm going to close this, and I'm actually going to open a copy of the RGB file, so we don't change the original data at this point. Right. First we're going to create a preview in a piece of sky, or background shall I say, which is just background. So I'm just going to create a preview box. Let's just have it like so, preview 1. And we're going to use this for background references to when we neutralize. So our first step will be to go to color calibration, background neutralization. Now we're going to select the preview that we just made, which is here, RGB preview 1. Okay. I'm just going to leave everything default. This is going to neutralize the background across the whole image. So we'll drag it on, let it do its thing. Now, I mean, you may think that that looked worse. It's because the screen transfer function was just doing weird things. Because remember, it's still linear, so this is still fake. Okay, so we've now done our background neutralization. Our next step will be to color calibrate the image. So our background reference is the same preview. Now the white reference, I'm actually going to use the whole image as the white reference because it contains the whites that we want. So we're actually just going to change that to RGB. Keeping structure detection on because obviously this is a structure. We're now going to apply it. Takes a minute or two. In fact, I don't think it even takes a minute. There we go. So now we have color calibrated this and neutralized the background. So we are now one step closer to be able to start to edit it and do curves and levels and stuff. The preview one we can delete. We don't need it. Okay. Now we're going to take the RGB file from being linear to non-linear, so we're going to now apply a permanent stretch to it. So just like before, as you can see, screen transfer function. Now if we apply the settings from the screen transfer function to the histogram transformation tool, we get an idea of what the histogram will look like afterwards. So if we now remove it, apply it, done. Close it, and now we are obviously non-linear, which is where we want to be. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to do a slight saturation or curves adjustment. So curves transformation, track it, reset it. Okay, so we're just going to bump this up a bit. We're not going to go crazy here. So we're just going to, I mean, you can see the effects you have if you oversaturate. I see some pictures like this online, and I mean, I guess we're coming towards the point now where there is no right way to do things. It's really down to personal preference, because at the end of the day, it's art. So this is just how I do things. Obviously, people differ, people do different things, but yeah. So this is just a small boost in the saturation. We can remove the preview. We can apply it. Excellent. Okay, now we're also going to run a process. SCNR, which will actually remove the greens, or that to an average neutral. Tend to get a lot of green casting, so this will remove that. I don't change any settings, I just leave it as it is. Apply it to the image. And we lose our green cast. Okay, so that's the curves done, SCNR done. I'll leave that there. Actually, I will leave curves there as well, because we will be using it again. We're here. We can just save this image, but we're going to save it as the original because we're happy with the changes. So we can just save it. Yes, overwrite it. Okay, now we still have the copy open, so we can actually still open the original file if we wanted to. See, there's the original, but we're working with a copy. Our next and final stage of combination, which will be to bring luminance and the chrominance, the RGB, together as one.